Hi there, it's Mary with Mary's Stamping Cafe. Thanks so much for stopping in at my recorded video today. I am here to talk about the May Sheetload of cards. One of my favorite things is to follow sketch challenges. I even make some sketch challenges for people to try on my Stamping Cafe Facebook group. I'll put the link down below. It is a private stamping group just because we want to be respectful and friendly, and we have a great time with sharing our love for stamping. But if you have not seen the Sheetload of cards, you'll want to check out Call Me Crafty Al on YouTube. She is the one with some other team members who go ahead and create these fabulous Sheetload tutorials every month. This is the May sketch, and it is a fractured card. And you will get a 2-page PDF. You're more than welcome to get these for free. And it tells you here your supplies of what you need. It tells you how many cards this particular sheet load makes. It even gives you dimensions right here for if you are doing just a single card. Then you can go on, and the next page shows you a visual tutorial here. Shows you again your designer series paper or your pattern papers, and then another cardstock and your bases, and you are all set to go. You will, on the sheet loads, have some extra leftovers, and that's great because I put those on the inside of the card. Sometimes the sheet loads have no leftovers, and that's fantastic. So I'm going to share this today with you. I'm going to show you the cards that I created, and then I'm going to create one more just using the single card dimensions here, so that you can see how easy this particular one goes together. I always thought when I saw these fractured cards, it's, true confessions here, I always thought that each of these pieces were a separate strip that you laid down, but it's not, you guys. The mystery has been revealed. I will share with you how easy this is to put together. So my card that I created for the sheet load of cards used the Wildly Flowering suite of products. This is a beautiful colored designer series paper, the Wildflower designer series paper. It is gorgeous. It's 12 by 12. You've got the stamp set and then these beautiful dies here, and you can see how nice. You get some great 2-for-1s when you put it through the die cut machine. The centers pop out and you've got great layering on that. What I wanted to show you real quick is I did want to show you the designer series paper because it doesn't do it any justice in here. Take a look at this beautiful designer series paper. Now you can see just how stunning it is. The colors, the rich colors of this paper, use some of our 23 to 25 in colors, and they're just beautiful. You get some very large images, and then you get your smaller, beautiful, subtle back side pages, and just, this page right here is just stunning. It's that white on that beautiful blue. And then think about these two pieces together. This is just so pretty. And then, this is my favorite right here. I absolutely love this page. I think it's just that wild wheat color behind, and then just the gorgeous moody mauve color. And so here we have again. And we have that flower pattern coming throughout some of these backside pages. But I just wanted you to see this paper in person because it's so, so beautiful. So there we are. So that is what I used for my sheet load of cards. And let me show you. When you do this sheet load of cards, you get some variety because, you can get bored a little bit doing the same card over and over again. But when you do this, you actually get a couple of different designs because of the papers you use when you cut them together. So this was my sheet load of cards, and these are the 2 variations. And then I put a strip of that excess from cutting the template on the inside of the card. Now there is a card in here. Let me see. Okay, now my card is loosely based on an idea that's in the annual catalog. This right here, now my card doesn't look anything like this one right here, but what I took was that idea of the little flowers here, is stamping and cutting them and then using this with another little designer paper here. So just that little bit of that sparked my idea for this. So that idea of taking and stamping and die cutting out a couple of the flowers and then using a little more designer series paper as a little layer underneath my sentiment, and that's kind of where that sparked off to. So it's so interesting how you can see something and think to yourself, oh, I might try that. All right, so we are going to create this card today, just one card, and I'm going to switch over to a totally different color scheme, but the Lily Pond Lane. And if you look at this stamp set and you look at the dies and all of the beautiful, bright, summery colors, it is so, so pretty. It is so pretty. And look at these beautiful ducks. I just love it. So this is the suite of products I'm going to use to create one of these fractured cards, so you know how easy it is to put them together. So here's the Charming Duck Pond stamp set. It's great. You can do two-step stamping to get some beautiful colors on your ducks. And then you have this fantastic die set. It is beautiful. You've got your outline dies for your stamped images. And then you have all of these fabulous lily pads, the reeds. You've got this gorgeous like silhouette window, flowers, and more little ducks and chicks. So good. Oh, I love this. The other piece that's so exciting on this is that some of the ducks that you have on your designer series paper, the die fits them, so you can use the already beautifully colored ducks from the designer paper. I'm just going to flip through a little bit so you can see in person some of these fantastic colors. And then just the little scenes that there are, like the little ducks here in the water. So cute. Some more of those pages that you can cut out. Look at that one there. I'm going to use that one. We have some fish. And look at the giant lily pads and frogs. Some little fish. Just love it. And what I really love is just the back side of the papers. The back side have just these subtle designs in them. They're just so good. So that is what I am using today. And I do need my page that's got some ducks that I can use. And we'll put this aside. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss any of my uploads or live videos. And a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, and even share. I would like to expand the world of creativity. So I've decided that I'm going to use this piece right here to do the small strips along here. I could just use a pecan pie cardstock, but I decided I wanted to use this because it does have that bit of design through it. Then I'm going to use this page here, and then this one. And on the back side, check out that great like picnic plaid. I just love it. So what's going to happen here is you have your greeting part right here in the center. And I'm going to be using a part of this paper in here, so I get just kind of the lily pads and a little bit of the reeds there when I do this today. So let's go ahead and do a little trimming. So like I said, doing the sheetload of cards, it debunked what I thought were all of these strips. And it's not. You're going to be creating a layer for the first layer on your card. So it's going to be 5 1/4 by 4, a standard layer. So I just need to make sure my reeds are going up and down. I want to make sure I cut it so they are like that when they're on the card. By 4. And this is just a standard layer. All right. So there's that. And then you have a 2 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to do the 2 part first. I'm going to turn it around because remember, I just want this part. So we have 2 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to turn it around again because I don't want all the reeds, because when you look at this layer and I just put all those on top, it's just way too much for your eyes. Even though it gets broken apart, turn this around by 3 1/4. So now I have this piece here where you see it's got more of the lily pads and just a little bit of that. Now these pieces, again, remember they would be part of your sheet load, and so you would be able to get to use them again. And I would be probably using this side because we've got all this happening. Although, again, if you do your 2 by 3 1/4, you probably could get those pretty darn well. All right, now let's go ahead and do the yellow strip. I do have some extra of it, so I'm going to just use this. So this one here gets cut at 4 1/2. Let's see, 4 1/2. And this is for your fractured strips. 4 1/2 by 1/4. These are some skinny strips. 1/4. 1/4. I love the Stampin' Up! Trimmer because it has the measures 0 to 1 1/2 going to the right. And so when you have pieces like this, it's great to be able to measure on this side of the score. Oh, I only need 2 of those. Now I need a 3 1/4 piece. And when you're doing this for your sheet load, you'd be getting 16 total because you're doing 2 of each size on a card. And then by 1/4 again. And there we are. Okay, so we have pieces that'll be used for the inside of the card. That's great. All right. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to adhere down my top layer to the base of my thick whisper white, basic white. Where'd that come from? Basic white, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. The reason why I'm doing a white base card, I just love the bright colors and then all the pop of white. Now, when it comes to this here, I want to make sure I get that as close to center and level as possible. Something about that part of the designer paper it didn't like. All right, so I can line up on my stamping, my glass mat, and then I can just come in, and I hate to say eyeballing, but it is what I'm doing. And I find to know if things are straight is to turn it this way. For some reason, this vertical alignment helps me to see if things are straight. Now, this does talk about going ahead and putting your strips on before you even glue this down to the base of your card. I'm okay with it. I actually find it easier for myself to do it this way. So I just go with what works for me. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our strips on. And you can see you've got a long strip and a long strip. These other 2 are the short ones. You've probably seen this card where they have put it on kind of a diagonal in a small little window. When I do my glue, I do it on the card and I just run along and then I stop right before I get to the edge. I find it better than putting it on the paper strip because my hand doesn't get all full of glue. The liquid glue gives you a little bit of time to move things. There we are. And then I'll need one of the short ones. I'm just going to go around each side And you really don't need much glue at all. I do a very thin line. And then this one just goes right up against the side of that. It's very, very forgiving. And then that little bit of glue goes a long way. We'll need our long strip again. So it's so funny how I've seen fractured cards. I've even made kind of a layout of a card that's similar, and really did think I was dealing with many, many strips of designer paper. So this is so easy. A 5 1/4 by 4 layer, a 3 1/4 by 2 layer, and then your 1/4 inch strips. Love it. And everything then goes right together just like so. I'm going to give just a minute there. And then this is really easy. I just come in with my scissor, clip right up underneath it, and clip. Right up underneath it, and clip. Because I didn't take that glue and go right to the edge, I do have a bit of wiggle room there. But by all means, if it works for you to put it all together and then put it on the base of your card, there you go. Now, look at that beautiful scene I have, right? It looked a little strange when you have just that small piece right there, but when you frame it with your strips, it's like taking it apart from that background, and it just works fabulously. I love this color scheme. These bright, kind of bold colors for summer are just fabulous. All right, so the next thing we need to do, oh, sorry, my nose, is we need our little ducks. So I'm going to bring this in here. Now, the dies take 2 ducks. This duck here and this duck here. These 2 ducks get die cut out, and this little one right here. So when you stamp your own duck and layer it with color, it's this duck right here that you get. And same as this one. And you can color your ducks as any color you want because it's a 2-step stamp system. You stamp your base or your outline, and then you stamp your color. Oh, almost took the tail of that little guy off. All right, so there are my 2 large ducks, mom and dad duck, and the baby, the chick. So I'll set my card aside, and I will grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I've got that. And I do like to do these at the same time. Sometimes that causes a little issue of maybe my die slipping a little bit. But you know, there's a slight white border edge when you use your dies. And that's really great because if you have a little bit of where it's gone off, you could just trim that excess. And it works out just fine if that happens. There's one. And really these lay down on the duck so easily. And there's 2. Next thing you do is you offset your plates, lay it right down, hold those ducks, and go. And if you're lucky, nothing slipped. You can also use your washi tape. I usually will have some actually on my machine, but I don't right now, so I'm living on the edge. And here's this really cute duck. mommy duck. And look at this perfect daddy duck. How cute is that? Now think of that. I love when Stampin' Up! Does this on the Designer Series paper because I can use these beautifully drawn and colored ducks. Love it. Okay, and now I need my little chick. It's so little. This little chick is so little. And then, of course, I almost cut his little legs off. The machine is shaded from my light. I think that's it. Yep. Maybe. Yep. That's it. Set it down and hold that duck till it gets there. I worry about a piece of washi for him because I think the minute I put the washi on top of him, he's going to slide everywhere. So there he is. Oh, that's a good one. Look how cute that is. There is a little excess here that I'll chip off. So it's not there. It looks like a little pointy thing coming off his little behind. Oop. There goes a plate. Again, I don't edit my videos. I need time for crafting, right? All right, so let's get this. Just come in a little bit. Just kind of go around. Try to keep things rounded. As long as you keep those things rounded, it looks like it's part of it. There we go. We don't get much better than that. Hello, cutie Ken. He's so cute. One little piece here at the top, too. There we are. Okay. Let's bring our card back because it's too much fun. So Mommy and Daddy Duck are going to be sitting here by the pond, and a little chick is going to come right in here, and it's going to be like one little family. So sweet. So let me grab my dimensionals. I have some minis today for these guys. Both of those will be raised up with dimensionals. I'm going to get close down by the feet and the tail, the head and the tummy. Whoops. There we are. So we'll place our Mommy and Daddy, and then we'll just use a little liquid glue for the chick. Almost done with this card. It is really great. I find that sometimes the work of designing what you're working on can take a lot of time, and it's so fun to just use a layout or a sketch challenge or these sheet loads of cards to take that part of the designing process out, and then you can focus on the great products that you have, the beautiful designer papers, the fantastic stamp sets and dies, and then create. It's so fun to mix and match these papers. I had started one of these with the lily pad, and I'll show you the layout for that one, although I don't have the ducks. And the glue is great, the liquid glue, because it allows you that little opportunity to move that little chick around. So look at our cute duck family. And the way that they're colored so well, they don't get lost in the background. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to stamp a sentiment. You know, this is crazy, but I actually have one already stamped. So do I do that or just stamp for you? Okay, we're going to stamp it. I have one there because I was actually working on this card as an idea. And so I have Pretty Peacock, which is one of the colors. And my block is not on here very well. What is going on there? You Make Me Happy. I'm going to make sure we ink this up really well. And then I'm going to come close to the end here and try to be as centered as I can, but I'm actually going to come down a little bit because this strip is a little too wide. There we are. Going to give this a minute to dry. So Pretty Peacock is one of the colors in the lily pad, and you can see it here. We've got the Pretty Peacock, and some of the reeds are done in the Pretty Peacock as well. All right, and now that I have that, I'm going to use my trimmer. We can try to do it by hand, but if you watched my Stampin' Saturday video, you know that it always ends up bad, right? When you try to do that trimming on your own, especially with a long piece like this, by the time you're done, you've actually cut into your sentiment, and that is no fun. All right, now I could grab my blending brush to do a little bit of tinting around that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the stamp pad because I want to make it look like there's another cardstock behind it. I'm just going to tap into the stamp pad. Be careful not to get my fingers all in it. And what this does, it gives a hard line around it. See how that's made a hard line around it? And that looks like there's another piece of Pretty and Peacock cardstock behind here. And there's not, but it's going to help it really stand out like that. See how well that stands out now? It looks like there's another cardstock piece behind it. That's a little hack for you. Just use your stamp pad and lightly tap holding that. When you use your blending brush, that's a great another effect. It just gives it a more cloudy look. Now there's not going to be any dimensionals on that, but my strip is now that perfect size. I'll just do a little liquid glue. And I'm going to bring it right on an angle just like this. You make me happy. It's a perfect scene for You Make Me Happy, isn't it? It is great. I love that. Okay, so from there I'm going to grab these great adhesive back dappled dots. This is part of the Lily Pond suite. And I have used some. And I'm going to take a look here. Oh, I really love the pink ones. We have the gray for the ducks. That could be a good color to kind of tone it down a little bit. I think I'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the end of the sentiment. Just like so. And you know, I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to put any more. The only other thing I need to do for this card is to use a little bit of the scraps to put a layer on the inside of the card. I'm going to grab the dies here that I have and put them back in my folder. All the wonderful new products in the new annual catalog. I've got some organizing to do. So let's take a look here at what I have that I can use. I could use just a nice thing like this. I've got the plaid background. I also have, what else do I have here? Ooh, I've got this one. That's nice. But I think I'd like to use the strip color that we used. So let me grab that. Here's a strip of it, so we'll use that. Okay, so that is a 5 1/4. So we'll do our 5 1/4. Let's go this way. And then we'll do a 1/2 inch border on the inside. There we are. So there's a sentiment that says, "You make me happy," which we have. and it has "Have a lovely day," "A happy birthday," and "Hello friend." So those are some great sunny. Did I do 5 1/4? I sure did. I meant to do 5 1/2. And if you saw my Stampin' Saturday video, I did the exact same thing. My brain was thinking about the 5 1/4 layer, but the inside of the card does not have that 5 1/4 layer. So I needed to do it 5 1/2. And as you can see, I've got my little edgies here, and that's okay. It'd be so super cute to put another duck right here, or to put that little frog. So in the stamp set, we've got our little frog that sits on the lily pad. So you've got your base stamp, and then you can color your frog any color, and you just stamp it right on top. That would be super cute. I will do that, but not right now. So there we are. There is that May Sheetload of Cards layout. And you saw how easy that was. You have your 5 1/4 by 4 base. You have the center here, 3 1/4 by 2. And then you've got your 1/4 inch strips, 4 1/2 by 1/4 or 3 1/4 by 1/4. So stinking cute. Now I was playing around, and here's another kind of layout before any of the ducks on, but this is one of the other Designer Series paper in the pack, and then using that pretty subtle design that's on the back side of one, and then this center is pretty plain. So on this one, you actually could just do a nice big sentiment if you wanted to, or again, you can add your ducks. But I just love this tropicalness of this, right? Could tie that in with one of our other stamp sets with some other characters. And then again, here were my sheet loads that I did all of the cards for. And then my Lily Pond link. So thank you so much for stopping in and watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of my cards today, and do share. I appreciate that. I have links below for any other fun things you might want to check out. Definitely check out Call Me Crafty Al Sheetload of Cards. It's wonderful. It's a great way to craft. And until next time, happy stampin'.